What is up, guys? My name is Blob and welcome back to another video on the channel. And today we're going to be breaking this sort of up into a few bits. This was going to hopefully be one episode, but after undertaking what we're going to be doing in today's video and realizing how long it was going to take, I'm actually going to be splitting this up into sort of like smaller segments. So this is going to be episode 5, and then I think the next one will be episode 5.1, and then we'll do a 5.2 if necessary, until the complete entrance area is done, and then 6 will be the next animal. But what we're going to be doing today, I hear you ask, that is going to be the gift shop. For those of you who don't know, the update and that came with the DLC on Wednesday included a huge change to how gift shops work. Now how they work is you put down these wooden tiles that you see on the floor here, like the paneling, and what you quintessentially do is you have these souvenir pieces that are different stands, you have countertops, and you put them on these wooden panels, and guests will literally walk between each stand, pick items off of them, and then go to the counter to pay. So it's a huge overhaul to how they currently work in the game, where it's just a building that the guests walk up to, or a counter that the guests walk up to, and then pay for the goods and then just leave. So this is great. We've been asking for this for a long time. People have been making gift shops before this update, but now they'll actually be functional, which is huge for the game. Boy, have Frontier smashed it out the park. Originally, I was under the impression that what this was going to be was you'd have the stands and then you'd select the items that go on the stands, and that would basically be how this works. Frontier have shocked me and quite a few people by actually releasing all the individual pieces that are available for purchase as individual assets in the game as well. So huge, absolutely props to Frontier. They didn't have to do it, but they have done, and I think it's absolutely amazing. But we'll go back to what's going on in the background here. Originally, the gift shop was going to be on the left side of the entrance as you came in, but the problem is that as soon as I put the tiles down and started putting down some of the different assets that you use to make up your gift shop, I soon realized that that was going to be too big of a space to fill. So I quickly changed around the plans, and the right-hand building, which is a small one, will now be our gift shop. And I've just moved it away from the entrance here so I don't have to worry about things getting grouped together accidentally, but I'll move it back at the end of the episode. At the bottom floor here, on the floor here, we've got I put plaster as the base, and then put in these plaster pillars sort of in a row, and then off-centered it, and then just copied those 2 rows and made the whole floor out of it. It gives off this really nice sort of long tile look, and I really like how it looks. The counters as well will have a bit of a change as well. You see me there, I put the wooden aquatic wood in the front of it, but I kept noticing that they were flickering, so as you would like sort of scroll away too far, the render would kick in and they would disappear. So I just thought, sod it, I'll get rid of the wooden panels, and you'll see me do it a little bit later on where I delete the counters and replace them. I had a good idea going into this what I wanted this shop to look like, and I have a reference image that I will put up on screen now for you to see. And basically, the way I wanted it to work was this corner that you currently see me working on, this was going to be for sort of clothing and masks. Then there was going to be a section for miscellaneous bits like puzzles. There's puzzles in the game, mugs, plushies, that type of thing. And I thought, as I was doing this bit, I had this sort of awkward little spot in between where the corner was and where the clothing racks ended. So I thought, let's do a changing room. You know, if you were buying something like this, surely you would want to try it on. So I just whipped this together using some marquee beams, just like the framing, and then these tarpaulin pieces. No, these aren't tarpaulin pieces. These are, I don't know what pieces these are. Oh, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I use these like cloth pieces, whatever they are, to sort of make the curtain as if it was like pulled to the side. And then I put in a roof just to sort of get an idea of how low I potentially want the roof to be, but that gets taken out as well. The whole thing's gonna be wood plaster base. So here you see me adding like a wooden trim to the wooden back wall, and then other areas are obviously plaster where the pillars are, just to stop the walls from being just flat. I think it really helps when you add these different dimensions into buildings like these. So even though from the outside the building looks like a rectangle, you go in and there's all these little like nooks and crannies that stick in and stick out, just really giving a bit of definition to the room. It's a minor thing, but I think it makes a huge difference to when you're building interiors like this. And when I was doing the interior, my general idea when I was doing this was I just wanted it to have like a modern I want it to be predominantly modern, but I wanted it to have that sort of rustic cabin-y type feel still that the rest of the place is going to hopefully have. And I think the wood really helps aid with that. Just over here now, you see me sort of doing the till area. I was a little bit confused about what to put behind you at first. I think I wanted to do some merch at first, and then I was like, no, we'll do the bags at the front. And then I was like, again, I like the idea because you can clip them into the ground, but at the same time, they can't use them, so it didn't really feel very good. So as a placeholder, you just see me put the word Zoo Shop at the back. This doesn't stay. We end up putting down a screen, and on that screen, I make a logo, and that will be the name of this gift shop. The gift shop name was very kindly given to me by someone in a Discord. Nuno, if you're watching this, thank you very much for the name. It's absolutely incredible. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it as the name. And the name of this establishment will be the Whisker Basket. A play on words from the term wicker basket. So obviously whiskers being what big cats have, so, or any cats for that matter. But I loved it. I thought it's such a great name that I just had to have it, and that's what we're going to be going with here with this place. And I think the name kind of fits because when you think of a wicker basket, they have that sort of brownie tinge to them with the wicker, and the wood gives it that brownie tinge. So I think those two elements just sort of like blend it together. You see me messing around here. I was kind of thinking that the walls are a little bit bare, but I soon came to the realization that I'd be decorating them with a few bits here and there anyway, so I ended up not going for that, and instead start breaking the floor up with these lines on the floor just to sort of segment everything off, just so that even though from a visual standpoint you can tell where the clothing is and where the merchandise is, I think it just helps split everything up a bit more visually. Here I realised what was going on with the tills and try rectifying it, and you'll then see me delete the tills just without these wooden paneling bits at the front. I tried putting an extra layer, doesn't seem to work, so I did just completely redo it. And then after that I start working on what is going to be the front window. So I've currently put the Indonesian stone pieces there, but I take them out because I have this idea that I'll put the masks along the window wall and then copy and paste those stands to face outward so that they give customers an opportunity to just sort of see what they can buy in the window as they walk past. Just splitting off with like the wooden panel bits, completely get rid of the front. I wanted to use the new doors as well. They're absolutely amazing. You'll see me doing them later on. Just above each of the stands, you'll see me using these conservation lights as well. Again, really, really good piece. Completely underutilized by me. I should really use them more. But I think they just give a nice little, they're not too overpowering, and they just focus the light where it needs to be focused. So yeah, masks are going to be lined against here, splitting up again with some wooden beams where the stands don't quite touch. And then I just sort of mess around with these stands here, trying to get a little configuration that I liked. And then there's like an umbrella stand back there against the wall. The only thing that's a little bit sad is that you can't recolor the umbrellas. That's the only thing I kind of wish. Some of these pieces are recolorable, but other elements, like I wish you could change the colors of the tops, even if it meant you had to keep the picture on the front the same. But it is what it is. That's me being extremely picky when it comes to this update and pack. Again, everything else here I absolutely adore. A couple of star stores at the back here. They're going to be splitting off and leading off to different areas, and then put one of the barriers there just to sort of say to guests, look, you shouldn't be going behind here. This door isn't for you. Ignore it. One of the most amazing pieces in the game, speaking of good pieces, is this carpet you just saw me put down on the floor. It's one of the Indian piece themed mats that you can get, and when you recolor them, you can put them inside each other to make these really nice looking carpet mat things. It's really nice. So you've seen me put them one down in front of the till, and then just shuffle it along, and they merge into each other beautifully. Really nice piece, so make sure you're using that as well if you're not. Just putting some posters by the front here. I end up making a custom sign for this as well. I go and grab 4 pictures and then basically put a number underneath each one, 1 to 4, and then I put one of the numbers in game on the poster racks just so that it corresponds with the picture, so people know what they're buying from what rack. And then me inserting some beams here just to break up the open space. Again, the open space is nice, but at the end of the day, I think these wooden beams that you insert just add a little bit of character, a little bit of flair. And then I just go around, start adding a few detail bits. I've got these extinguishers, and then I've got a break glass point that we call them in the UK. Basically, in the event of a fire, this is the button you'd run up to and press if you wanted to sound the alarms and let everyone know to evacuate. On this right hand side here, I'll be starting that in a moment. This will be where we start doing all of the souvenir-y type bits, like miscellaneous puzzles, mugs, the plushies, that type thing. And it generally follows the same sort of pattern that's been going on here. The wooden wall bit behind, just to separate it from the plaster wall, and just push it out a little bit. And then the lights above it as well, beams splitting up the stand so that each one's got a different like section within the section, if that makes sense. Everything gets marked up correctly, because what I end up doing is I end up using the Australian signs, the planks that you can edit and type on, and put them above each section so people know where to go if they want to buy a specific thing within the store. Using a different type of stand here, these sort of open fronted tables, and end up putting some statues on those as well. In a moment, we will be jumping to the new sign. It's going to be above the tills. It's going to be a bit of a jump. I was doing a lot of this again on stream, so if there are any sudden jumps anywhere, that is why. And there you can see it, the Whisker basket. Something I literally whipped together within Canva within about 10 minutes, but I already had the idea in my head. So it's not amazing, it's not incredible, but I think it does enough to sell what we want to do in terms of a logo. And then we start working on the front doors here, putting the doors down, putting the frame around the doors, and then inserting the hinges in, and then trying to line it all up so that the door isn't like the beams aren't clipping through either side. But we're going to be following the same pattern, wooden on the inside or plaster on the inside, and then the Indonesian stone is going to be on the outside. A little minor detail that you can't quite see, and you probably won't get to see an awful lot of in this speed build, is that when you look at this building as well, there is a gap at the bottom, and that gap indents by about 2 inches or so, and then that is where the plaster wall begins. So again, this isn't just a flat building. When you look at it in sort of higher detail, you can see this sort of 3D texture to the building. So it's sort of on this plaster foundation, and then the stone walls come out a little bit, and then that's where it will then go up to the next layer, which will be the start of the roof. This is going to purely be the interior of this whole video. I'm going to be doing the exterior roof bit when I get to do the rest of the entrance, because I want the whole thing to kind of join together. Then you start seeing me working on the window facade here. I sink them a little bit into the ground because I don't want them to be usable, so I don't want guests to sort of bug out with them. So I have sunk them down a little bit into the ground, because when you sink them down into the ground or raise them a little bit, it just makes them unusable, which is fine, because at the end of the day, I don't want them to be used. I want them to literally just be for show. What I might probably do is put maybe like a vista point inside the middle beam, so that it makes people look at the windows even if they are not actually buying anything at that time, just to give it a little bit more realism. The bit in the background that you are going to be seeing here was probably the most frustrating part of the build, and that was joining these corner pieces of the building up to the window. The panel on the left here worked perfectly because of the sizing of it, but on the right hand side, the gap between the door and the window was quite small. But luckily the Indonesia pack has these pillars that managed to fill the gap just nicely and stop this whole build from being more of a headache than it probably needed to be. So massive props to those pieces existing. They were a lifesaver at the end of the day for me. Now, I just want a little moment here to plug my workshop. If there's anything that you see here that you want me to add to the workshop, let me know and I will definitely upload it. Again, I want everything here that I build to be something 100% that I have done. The only exception to the rule that you've seen so far of that is obviously being the car park, but the car park is going to make up such a small amount of this whole thing that I just wanted to get that part over and done with so that I could get into the meat and gravy that quintessentially was what you're seeing in front of you right here. Now the roof is going in, and roofing is my Achilles heel in this game. I wish I was better at it. But what I ended up doing here was I wanted to put in a skylight just to let in a little bit of natural light. I didn't want all of the light inside the building to basically be provided by artificial light. So I ended up going with this sort of split design here, put a metal beam in the middle so it's 2 windows, and then duplicate that across and open one of the windows as well. Just a little bit of airing as well. And I think they look really nice. I did have a little bit of a heart attack here when I saw that the window panels weren't quite big enough, but ended up having a workout where I just sort of put another panel to each side and then filled it in with that. And then here I am just opening the window and then using one of the thin pieces to sort of just look like it's propping up the window as well. And then some more detailing bits, just something like some of the Arctic window pieces at the base and top of each of the pillars on the inside of the building as well, just to give a bit more detail yet again. And this is literally what the rest of the video is going to be, me detailing, doing some bits to the roof here. I wanted it to have like some wood paneling on the ceiling as well, so that the ceiling wasn't just one solid color. And I think what I'll do here is I'll leave you for the rest of this speed build, and I'll join you toward the end, and I'll give you a little bit of a walk around tour of the store from different angles. But I'll catch you at the end of this video. And welcome back to the live section tour of the video. In front of you here you can see a billboard that I made. It simply just flicks between 3 different screens that I made. You've got one that's advertising the cheaters, another one that's sort of a reminder, don't forget to grab your souvenir. Nice pun there, thank you for that, Koki. And just that sort of thing. On the right hand side we've got the door complete with a welcome mat, and then on the left and right hand side of the door you've got these sensors. If you had high value items like these statues here, they may potentially be tagged, and if someone was to leave with one of those tagged items, then obviously this would make an alarm, letting the shopkeeper know that something was being stolen. And then above the door we've got this sort of fan thing that blows the air down in front of the door. Masks over in this section here, changing room in the corner here, and then this is all of the clothing and masks again on this side here. Really nice space. 2 staff room areas, one goes to different areas, and then we have the really nice till area. This is probably my favorite bit of the whole shop. You got this nice Indian carpet that I was telling you about. You seem to be able to like mesh them into each other without the border of the mat seem to show through. It's really nice. Tote bags hanging on the back wall here if somebody wants them to carry their goods around. And then this really nice cheesy name for the whole place, absolutely love it, the Whisker basket. And then toilets in the corner here, and then here's all of the mugs, plushies and puzzly souvenir bits with the statues in the middle. Using the ceiling fans, I don't often use these, but I thought on this occasion that I would use them. And then the nice open ceiling light window above us here. And then this is what I'm talking about with the posters as well, with the different numbered posters and the different corresponding holders, so that you know which one you're picking up without opening the tube and having that annoying thing where you can't roll them up properly to put them back in the tube. Heading on outside here, and this is the outside window. Again, very basic, but I think it fulfills the purpose that I wanted it to, of being able to see what was inside the store. And then the sign as well. This is what I was talking about with the building, by the way. You can see here on the underside, it does like crevice in, and then the outside Indonesian stone that comes back out. But I really enjoyed making this, and I cannot wait to finish the rest of the entrance. Thank you so much for watching. Peace out. I love you all. Thank you. Bye bye.